What's happening, people? It's your boy, Brother Winston, back at it again. And today we are talking about what's going on in the country, okay? In the USA with Joe Biden, President Trump. All right. This is not going to be a long video, okay, y'all? But we're going to be talking about what's going on. Hopefully it's not a long video, okay? I'm trying to start making my videos, my lives during the week be a little over half an hour. And testing that out, okay? So instead of being doing these long lives, okay? I think that'll attract more people when they're short, okay? So we're going to test it out. But anyway, we're going to talk about the things that I've noticed over the years regarding these two different parties, the Democratic Party, okay, and the Republican Party, y'all. If you're watching live, let me know in the comments. All right, people? Let me know in the comments if you're watching live. It's your boy, Brother Winston. Let's get into it, okay? So, let's look here, y'all, at the first video. Let me turn this music down, if you can hear that. Turn the music down. Let's pull up our first video here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I just want to show you some things that I've noticed. All right. First, let's look at the presidential debate. Okay. Just a few clips from the debate, not the whole thing. We'll look at just a few clips, y'all. Let's pull it up here.
Issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president.
First, I want to say, now I want to say this first and foremost. Everything I'm saying in this live, okay, it's not to be a personal jab at any of these candidates, okay, or anyone. I'm simply stating what I can see with my eyes, okay. Look at how he's asked this question. Joe Biden has asked this question. Also, I'm an independent. So you say you vote for Biden or Trump. Okay. Me personally, I'm an independent. I'm not Republican or Democrat. If you want to know how I feel about Trump, look at my videos below. On my YouTube page, you'll figure out how I feel about Donald Trump. I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I'm also not a Joe Biden fan. Okay, I'll say that. Let's look at Joe Biden's face though when he's asked this question, okay?
You say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president. What I was left. We got to take a look at what
were under president.
I had to stop it right there. This man, in my opinion, when I first saw this clip, this scene from the cause I put up the whole debate after it was finished to check it out, and I saw this as it opened up. I believe this is the opening question for Biden, President Joe Biden. I thought to myself, this man is too old to be the president. That's the first thing I thought to myself. I thought this man is way too old to be the president. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys, I personally don't watch Joe Biden often. Okay, some people do; they watch everything he does. I personally don't do that, okay? So because of that, I felt like, well, that's probably something that only I know is going to watch my life. Other people probably already know how he is. But after this, I found out that a lot of people were saying that they wanted Joe Biden to step down because they thought he was too old, which I was surprised because I felt like, well, it's not like he just was born or he just showed up. He's been on TV a lot. But in my opinion, TV kind of, how can I put it? They kind of shield Joe Biden from a lot of things. They have him on for a certain amount of time. He may wander, which is something that's happened before, on the stage or whatever. And they'll just cut him off. Sometimes they'll just start talking about different things that are maybe not part of the subject. They'll just keep on moving, okay? What's going on, Frank? So, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but I just got a comment from on it. Y'all probably saw it, but I don't think y'all can hear that. But anyway, let's continue. So we see, to me, Biden just looks bewildered. Okay, let's look at these questions here. Yeah, I'm not sure if I don't think y'all comments are patched in when it comes to hearing, but y'all can definitely see it. Okay, let's see. Gotta figure out how to switch that on my side.
President Trump.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible.
The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has.
Now, I want to say this. Donald Trump is a straight up liar. You should know that. If you don't know that, you're not paying attention. He's a straight up liar. Almost everything that comes out of this man's mouth is a lie. But when he's standing in front of Joe Biden, he actually, he really doesn't have to lie that much. It is unbelievable. Donald Trump has, in the past, has been quoted as having actually saying that he prides himself with being an expert liar. And he could lie to you about what time of day it is, okay? But he said, look, the only job he's created is for immigrants. Is Donald Trump lying? I mean, not necessarily in the sense that there have been a lot of immigrants poured into this nation, okay? And that's true. And there have been things, opportunities and jobs made for them by the Biden administration. That's also true. Also, unemployment is out of control. Inflation is out of control. These things are true. He's not lying in that, okay?
He's not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
As president, would you block?
Once again, that's not a lie. I never thought I would say it, but inflation is hurting the country. Is that a lie? No.
Abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted.
Joe Biden sounds like he could pass away. I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. He sounds like he could pass away at any moment. Okay. You say, why are you picking on Joe Biden? I'm not picking on Joe Biden. I'm trying to state what I can see with my eyes. He sounds like he could pass away at any moment. He sounds like I heard someone leave a comment somewhere or so. I'm trying to remember where I saw this, but they said that someone said his wife and his family should be charged with elderly abuse because this man is this old and they can see that, and they have this man working a job at this age, and not just any job, but he's a president of the United States, the most powerful nation on the face of this earth. He's literally the king of that nation, and you know that this man is suffering from dementia, different things, okay? And you guys allow this to continue. Now, I don't know if you can say you should prosecute them for that, but I can't see that person's point of view. Okay, when I look at him and I see how he's acting, and I've been around elderly people before, I know how they act. I know how it is when you know that a person needs to be put in a place where, you know, they can be cared for, and you know, I know how it is to understand. Oh, this person is too elderly to be driving this or that, or you know, you can see we can all sense this. We all, you know, no matter what race, you know, age or religion. We all are used to these things. Everyone in the nation, in the world understand. Most people understand those things. Okay. And the president is exhibiting all of these, you know, all these features.
The politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run.
Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all.
Donald Trump seems like he's 15 to 20 years younger than Joe Biden. Listen to how he's talking. Just sounds like he's much more lively. Okay. Once again, I'm not a Donald Trump fan. You guys, you know that. But does he sound more lively than Joe Biden? Absolutely.
And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved.
I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Can you?
Did Donald Trump say that? Most likely, I'm sure they did say that. I'm sure they did call him losers and suckers. Look at it, the expression on Donald Trump's face.
Clarify exactly what it means.
Loser was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Can you clarify?
He's just shaking his head barely. Donald Trump should be greatly offended at that. That if that's a lie, but he's not in the way that he's shaking. And we've seen Donald Trump offended before. The way he's shaking his head, he should be greatly offended at that, but he's not, because he's telling, I'm sure, is the truth.
A loser was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling?
So you have a guy that, let's listen to what he says one more time real quick. I don't want to belabor this, but let's listen to what he says here. This is important.
He said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers.
So regarding the veterans, this is what Donald Trump said.
And he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. Standing with his four-star general. And I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was
Okay, World War I cemetery, okay.
standing with his four-star general. And he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Can you clarify exactly what?
See how Donald Trump's facial expression is? He's just like, well, just shaking his head. Like, well, hey, I said it, so what? All right.
it means
But he's going to do a commercial, I'm sure, with veterans, all right? And they're going to be voting for him also.
about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents.
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going.
Is he lying in that? No, it's not a lie. That's not a lie. And when it comes to overall, when things that are going on with the nation, it is failing in many ways. It's not a lie.
To be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon.
The idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong.
Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. And we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there.
You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit. And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
Okay, so it's more to the debate than that, but this is a quick recap that they decided to pull up here for what they found to be important. And I appreciate this MSNBC for doing this, okay? I'll move on to the next clip we have here, okay? Now, also, let me say this really quickly. Also, if you want to donate to this podcast, you want to donate to the ministry, this is how you can do it. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I want to get this out of the way, okay? If you guys like this or are blessed by it, enjoy these podcasts that come on 4 days a week here on YouTube and on where else is share, Facebook, wherever. Make sure to support this work of this ministry, okay? Helps a whole lot. PayPal information is in the video description on YouTube. Also, Patreon information should be in the video description and on the channel description. If that's how you could actually give a reoccurring donation automatically, okay, through Patreon. Okay, if you want to do that instead. Everyone that's given, I want to thank you so much for those who have given. Okay, let's continue. Let us continue. Now we are looking at this video where, as we've seen, if you haven't been paying attention, Donald Trump. There's been a Supreme Court ruling giving Donald Trump certain immunity from the things that he has. Where's my phone at? From some of the things that he has done. Okay, y'all, such as being involved in the January 6th riots. Okay, in my opinion, he for sure is the reason why it happened. Donald Trump, if you remember, he tweeted on Twitter when he was not banned on Twitter. He said, told people to come on out months before. He said it's going to be wild. I think he used that exact word. It's going to be wild. Okay, so people to come out, his supporters, which they did because of him. Okay, because he controls a large swath of the Republican Party, and in the Republican Party, as I always say, there's a party of Trump. Okay, just like there's a Nazi party, so there's a Trump party. Okay, and it says that he has his own group. All right, for sure, they're different than even the hardline Republicans of old. Okay, so. I'm not saying everyone that's supporting Trump is a Trumpster, people would say, or just a Trump fanatic. But he has a group of people that are following him as they would a cult leader. And as I said before, I believe Donald Trump is most assuredly a cult leader. Okay. Now let's pull this up here. So Donald Trump was involved. Of course, he created the January 6th riots. He told, if you don't know, if you forgot, I'm going to say right now. If you remember your history, Donald Trump, as I just said, had people come when they were ratifying the votes, okay, for the presidency. Donald Trump wanted Mike Pence and others to stop that from happening. Donald Trump said if Mike Pence didn't stop it, bad things would happen to him. People came with a noose to have Mike Pence hung. Donald Trump went silent. He told the people, if you remember, he told, I'm not going to pull this up, but he told people at the riot, essentially before it became a riot. He said, walk with me down towards the building where everything's ratified. I'm gonna walk with you. I'm with you guys. Then after that, he went to like a secret bunker somewhere and was not with them and was watching it from TV with his wife and his sons, while his cult followers crawled up, climbed up different areas. Should say not crawl, but they probably did crawl too, but they climbed up over official buildings. Broke into the official area where the official areas. And 5 people lost their lives. Donald Trump should have a murder case on him. For sure, because he created the whole entire thing. But instead, as we see here, he's not charged in any of those deaths that have happened because of him. Also, Mike Pence could have been hung. If someone were able to reach him, he could have been hung or he could have been shot, which is what Donald Trump incited. For sure, if you listen to what he was saying. And that could have been more blood on his hands. Which even if he did lose his life, Mike Pence even lost his life, I don't believe that Donald Trump would have been charged with that at all anyway. Because the devil, in my opinion, is behind what he's doing. But let's continue. Let's look at this. So now we have here. Let's look at this ruling. This is now 2020. It's now 2024. All right, and look what they're saying here.
Going through the paperwork. Shannon, you there?
Yes, I am here, if you can hear me. Let me read you a little bit of what we have from the court. It does find this. Under our constitutional structure of separated powers, the nature of presidential power entitles a former president to absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for actions within his conclusive and preclusive constitutional authority. He is entitled to at least presumptive immunity from prosecution for all his official acts. There is no immunity for unofficial acts. That's the first blush we've got on this. It looks like a 6-3 split. We've got the dissent by Justice Sotomayor, Kagan, and Jackson join that. There is a kind of split decision on some of these. Somebody joins in one part, not in another part, but that's the open.
So it was a 6-3 vote by the Supreme Court that he was immune from January 6th insurrection, which is exactly what it was. I guarantee you, if President Barack Obama lost his second election bid and had black people climbing up official buildings, breaking into, which is what happened, and had black people breaking, and Black Lives Matter people breaking into official buildings, and 5 people lost their lives, you would never hear the end of that. I guarantee you that. Because Donald Trump, it's as if it's nothing. They even lied and said that it was Black Lives Matter people that were in disguise. I heard that. I had a black woman actually tell me that. She said it was actually Black Lives Matter people that were in disguise when they started doing the insurrection. But before that, it was actually Trump supporters. But when the violence happened, they switched to Black Lives Matter people. I said, really? So they all just decided to leave. All Trump people just left, and then Black Lives Matter people just came in dressed as white people, and they all just decided to do that. I say, y'all believe any lie. You believe any, if you believe that, you'll believe anything. That's what I told her. I said, I don't know how on earth you guys, people are saying any kind of lie, you guys just believe in it. Instead of accepting that, you can clearly see what y'all did was evil, and you have to accept it. There's no side that's all right, and the other side is all bad. Come on now.
Overall holding of the court. So what it means now, we'll have to dig into this and see if they tell us now, how do you decide an official act versus an unofficial act? Because that's going to be critical, having now said
basically what they're saying is we're not going to charge you with anything. It's as simple as that. Give you some, give you some jibber jabber, but you're not going to charge you with anything. And at the end of the day, if any charges brought against the president, it's going to stick, if it would stick, after he has got the chance to be elected as president. And we know that if he becomes the president, there's absolutely no way you could lock him up for any crime if he's already the president, because he could just give himself immunity. Even if they say that he can't give himself immunity, he would just do that. He'll find a way to get rid of anyone he wants to, in my opinion, for sure. All right. I think that that, in my opinion, I think that Donald Trump will definitely win. I think he'll win by a landslide this time. Okay, I don't think there's any way on earth that Joe Biden could win unless he cheats to such a degree that it's beyond reason. Okay, and I don't think that Joe Biden and them are going to do it, even though Donald Trump said that he was cheated the last election. He was a cheater. He lost. Okay, I actually think that Donald Trump cheated the first time with Hillary Clinton also, when he said that he didn't have Russia help him. When in actuality, asked Vladimir Putin, did you help Donald Trump win? And he actually said on video, yes, I did, which I played before. He said, yes, I did help him win. Okay, and still people believe that he didn't cheat. Okay, I believe he cheated both times. Trump did. Okay, which we see, for example, in the second election when Donald Trump lost, how he was caught telling people in different states, during governors, to people to basically find votes. He was caught saying on video, on tape, find votes so that I can win. Okay, so he was shown to be cheating. Okay, but anyway, so we see here that at the end of the day, and that's, if you watch it out loud, let me know, y'all. Thank Frank for leaving the comments. At the end of the day, we see this. Now it's 2024. Donald Trump is given immunity. Now this is my thing, as I have right here, y'all. Pull this up here. As I have right here, we see two parties. They see one party. Okay. We think it's Democrat, Republican, but in my opinion, and people have said this for years, I believe that it's just one party. Because this is the thing: if the Democrats really wanted to stop what Donald Trump was doing, okay, why would they wait until now? Why would they have Joe Biden, a man who literally said that he did not want to become the president? A man that said he didn't want to run. Okay. Remember when Joe Biden ran, okay, for this first term against Bernie Sanders and the rest, he was he may have been the last person to join. Okay. The last person to officially throw his hat into the race, as they say. Why? Because he did not want to become the president. That's why. He knew he was old. He already was the vice president of the United States, which is a very high, prestigious job and something to have on your resume. I was the vice president of the United States of America. Okay. Unless you want to become the president, there's not much more, politically speaking, that you can really reach. Okay. Reach for. And well, so he has that. Okay. As something that he can say, boast about. All right. So this is what I did. They wanted Joe Biden. The Democrats did. They pushed out Bernie Sanders, which they oftentimes have done. Pushed out every other. You can look this up if you don't believe me. They pushed out other people. Okay, to put Joe Biden, a man who didn't even want to be beat in that position, who said he was not sure about being the president. He somehow beat everyone else. Okay, and in that sense, I feel like the Democrats control that. Now we may say, well, why did they pick him to become the nominee? I believe it was because they felt that Joe Biden was old enough that they could control him like a puppet, and that's why they wanted him. They didn't want him for anything that any policy per se. They wanted him because they wanted someone who they could control like a puppet. And Joe Biden was the perfect person to pick to control like a puppet. Okay, that's why they picked him. In my opinion, for sure. That's why Joe Biden was chosen. Okay, I've said this before, and I'm not the person to sit there and say that voting doesn't matter and that end of the day, all votes have never mattered and it's all a show. But in this sense, with this election, I believe that it is a show. Okay. Because like I said, the Democrats, for example, when January 6th happened, right? And January 6th happened. And we could all see that this was evil. We could all see that Donald Trump was responsible for this, okay? When the newspapers showed people climbing up these official buildings and trying to break in and people had lost their lives, which you heard about later, soon after. Many people thought, okay, well, this is the end of Donald Trump's political career. He'll probably be arrested or at the very least banned from running for any political office. Did that happen? No. That didn't happen at all. Did the Democrats push for that to happen? You may say they really did. That in actuality, they really did not. Okay? They really did not. People stand up, the Nancy Pelosi and other people stand up and say, we have to stop this man right now. No, they waited and they waited and they waited and they waited and they waited. Okay? To me, that's a show. It's a show. Now, when it's election time, they try to say, what is it? Within the same, essentially an election year, okay, and maybe a few months before. Now, all of a sudden, we need to hit Donald Trump with these serious cases regarding January 6th and this and that. Now, we need to, come on now. Now, somebody may say, oh, well, court takes time, and these things take time. It should have started, them trying to stop him should have started on January 6th, whatever year that was, okay? It should have started then. It should not have started this year, 2024, 2023. It should have been started. This man shouldn't have even been able to run at all. Okay, amongst all the other crimes that you guys have caught him for and know that he has done. He's a super criminal. This man, Donald Trump, is a super criminal. Y'all know this. But they all deserve him fully because of the fact that they don't want to stop him. And they keep on saying, oh, we're trying to stop him. I don't believe that they're trying to stop him. Also, which I want to show you guys, the Democrats have made everything that Donald Trump said, which was everything that he said, for example, that was going to happen. Almost everything, I should say, they made it come true. Okay? They made it come true. He spoke about the immigrants that building a wall, and the Democrats made fun of Donald Trump for trying to do these things. Okay? And laughed at him and said he was lying to a degree. To a large degree, he was lying about certain things. But at the same time, once Donald Trump got out of there, then they make everything that he said, almost everything he said, come true. He spoke about immigrants flooding to this nation. When immigrants were not flooding to this nation, and they were saying that, okay, things were as they were. Still not great. Now, they're busing immigrants in. People, there's nothing wrong with an immigrant, but the problem is that these people have not gone through the proper immigration process. Okay, they're not going through the proper immigration process, but they're just sending them in. Okay, and the thing is, that actually affects and that hurts people who are actually going through the immigration process. I mean, think about it. It takes people years. I remember, for example, this woman I know that wanted me to marry her. Okay, she wanted me to marry her so she could get not because we were in love. She wanted me to marry her because she wanted to become a citizen. All right. There are people that are trying all kind of things so they become citizens of this nation. And some folks could just climb over a fence, which is what they're doing, or just coming through a variety of ways. And the United States is just literally giving them thousands of dollars. They're shipping them from one city to another major city. Okay. We're paying for people that have come in here illegally. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. That doesn't make any sense. You look at New York City and how they're housing them and doing all kind of things. You may say, well, we're supposed to love the immigrants. Does the Bible say love the immigrants? The problem is that these people are not just immigrants. They're also criminals because they come into the country illegally. Okay, it's a difference. It's a difference. All right. We should say you guys you have to leave out of our country. We're going to take you, have ICE pick you up. Okay, take you back out of the country. All right. And it's a process that you have to go through, because if you don't go through this process, there could be a ton of people in our nation who are draining our resources, okay, getting all kind of public assistance, on top of the fact that we don't know who's a criminal, who's not a criminal, all right, and it can hurt the people that are actually here legally or who are born here. We cannot allow that to happen. We only have so many resources, okay, but instead the nation doesn't do any of that, okay. They made the things that Donald Trump has been saying almost all of it come to pass, all right, and it's really, really unbelievable. And Donald Trump says we brought in hundreds of thousands of millions of people. That's exactly what has happened. Okay. While at the same time, what have we been doing? Well, we've been giving not millions, not thousands, but billions of dollars to other nations such as Ukraine and Israel. That's a fact. Okay. Billions. But we won't use billions to stop the mess that's going on. Okay. Which is hurting the entirety of our nation. Why? Okay. Let's move on to the next video. This is Donald Trump at a rally here.
Job. You've done a horrible, horrible job. Worst president in history. Get out. You're fired. Get out. We can't get him out fast enough. I'm worried about the next 5 months. We could end up in World War III with this person. He's the worst president ever. The Biden administration has been nonstop catastrophe. He has been a catastrophe. It's been a nonstop catastrophe, but one of Crooked Joe's most destructive moves yet is the lawless executive action he is taking today. You've been reading in the middle of the largest border invasion in world history. There's never been a border in the world that's like this border that we have, where probably 17, 18 million people by now have entered our country illegally.
Now, let's say the number that he just said was a lie. That it was lower than that. It doesn't matter. It's still millions of people coming in here. And Joe Biden is making Donald Trump a habitual liar actually seem to be true. And he's not lying in that, okay? I never would have thought I would see the day where he could come out and just not even have to lie. But he really doesn't have to. I said this before, Donald Trump doesn't even have to campaign. Really doesn't have to campaign at all, okay? I mean, he's coming out doing these speeches. I don't know, maybe to shore up his landslide win. But really doesn't have to do that, okay? That's why he didn't go to any debates. He said, look, why do I need to go to a debate? It's not necessary, okay? And I couldn't blame the guy, okay? A terrible, a very wicked, evil person, but he's not dumb, okay?
Joe Biden's granting mass, he's going to formally grant a mass amnesty to millions of illegal aliens that came into our country. And you have people that have been working for 10 years to try and come in legally, and they just keep working. Under this program, a deluge of illegals will be given immediate green cards and put on the fast track to rapid citizenship so they can vote. I think a lot of them are going to vote for me. You want to know the truth? Because if you look at the Hispanic population, if you look at the black population, they're voting for Trump. They're voting for Trump. You, look at you.
Now, he's making a point here, which I'm going to talk about for a second, which is that he says, now, once again, he could be lying, because Donald Trump lies about a lot, but he says there's a program that they're putting in place to fast track them to be able to vote, okay? Now, this is something that my mom had alluded to before one time. She said she believes that the reason why they're allowing droves and droves of immigrants in our nation, okay, is so that they can be used for the draft, okay, because they're going to institute a new draft. And now there have been things, if you look this up, guys, I'm not going to pull up right now. There's been things put in place, if you, which I've heard about just not too long ago, where they said that if you're like the age, like I think it's like 18 to 25, something like that, you are now essentially enlisted in the new draft that they have. There's like some type of, you're essentially, the draft has not been, of course, called for yet, but it seems like the United States is getting ready for some type of draft. And my mom was saying that she believes that's the real reason why they want all these immigrants here, is because they want to use them for that. She was saying they could possibly say, look, if you fight for our nation, that's like the immediate way to become a citizen. Fighting this war, you become a citizen, okay? And that's actually the reason why they want them in there. Because you have to ask yourself the question, why would you allow all these immigrants in, okay? People that are illegal immigrants, I should say, illegal immigrants in, don't stop them, all right, and then give them tons of money. Why would you do such a thing? It's not like it's an accident. The United States is telling you we're doing this. We're sending them and we're doing this, we're doing that to help them. But why? Okay. This is the nation that, for the most part, helps other nations only when there's something in it for us. We're not going to help a nation in Africa or a nation where they don't have a resource that we can use. But if we see that Iraq has oil, which they did, we're going to rush over there and we're going to start Operation Iraqi Liberation, or oil. Operation Iraqi Liberation. They were going to change it to Operation Iraqi Freedom. Okay. Change the name. But if you remember, first it was OIL. Okay. Because that's why we're coming to get y'all oil. If you remember, John, who was his name? George W. Bush said, don't touch the oil fields. When they went over there, what did he say first? In Iraq, he said, don't touch the oil fields. He told them don't touch the oil fields because Dick Cheney was coming with his company Halliburton to seize, which is to say steal, okay, these people's natural resources, which is what they had, which is what has already happened. Okay, let's continue. People have forgotten about that because the news cycle just keeps on running. People have forgotten about that. Okay, at least people in the U.S., people in Iraq who've lost everything, they haven't forgotten about it. Okay, but people here have forgotten about it.
Thank you. I like that person right there. But they give them they give them welfare, they give them free health care, food stamps. Chain migration, one of the catastrophic things, one of the many catastrophic things that we're confronted with when they come in. Crooked Joe is sending a message to the world that he rewards illegal entry, and that's what's happening. They hear about all of the things that are coming in, and don't kid yourself, the ones that are hurt the most, the black population, the Hispanic population, and you know what else? Who else is hurt badly? Unions. because unions are not able to compete with this. This is a mass entry into our country, and the unions are getting absolutely killed by it.
Let's skip ahead.
Our country is under invasion. We should not be talking amnesty. We should be talking about stopping the invasion instead. This is an invasion of our country.
He's not lying in that, okay? That's what I would say that. A habitual liar is not lying in that. Let's move to the next video. This is Donald Trump years ago. 8 years ago, to be exact. 8 years ago.
We're going to have strong, incredible borders, and people are going to come into our country, but they're going to come into our country legally. They're going to come in legally.
Okay, this is 8 years ago, when the immigration problem was not as it is right now at all. And he's talking about this stuff.
Going to come into our country legally. They're going to come in legally.
Okay, some of them coming in legally. And he was saying that, oh, well, there's too many of them pouring in here. All right. Now, right now, for sure, it's definitely too many of them pouring in here. That is for sure. Okay. Too many illegal people pouring in here for sure. On top of that, okay, there are many crimes that have been committed by these immigrants, such as in New York City. If you remember, there's a story where some immigrants beat up a cop. I mean, beat the guy down bad. Okay, they were committing some kind of crime and trying to stop him, and they beat the guy up and just rolled out. Okay, and I think they may be deported or whatever, but that would have never happened if they weren't in here. Okay, they were getting money from the U.S. government, and they're beating up cops, doing all kind of stuff. There's another thing they do in New York. Okay, which is that, if you ever heard about it, which is that these illegal people, they will go from house to house. They will actually knock on your door like the Joe Witnesses, okay? They will actually knock on your door. And there's some kind of, like, what's going on, Max? What's going on, Brother Max? There's this thing where they'll knock, and I didn't know about this because it happened in my state, but it happens in New York City, I guess, and maybe other parts of the state where they'll knock on people's doors, right? Ask if they, like, I think if you could give them money and different things like that. And for some of them, it's a scam related to it, where they're actually like casing your house. I heard. Okay. But at the very least, I'll be like, wait a second. So you came into our country illegally. Okay. You're getting money from the state. You get money from the U.S. Okay. However, from the state in New York, wherever, you're getting money from our state, wherever you are, whether it's in New York, PA, Chicago, Texas, or wherever. You're getting money from the state. All right. And then on top of all of that, you're knocking on my door saying, can you give me some money? Okay. With a world like that, you can't be surprised. With a country like that, you can't be surprised why people will be kind of upset. And why that type of stuff will incline people to vote for a man like Donald Trump, a wicked man like Donald Trump. Okay. Because people are seeing it right in front of their very eyes. All right.
We're going to build a wall. It's going to be built. It's not even, believe it or not, it's
Amen, Brother Max.
not even a difficult thing to do. And by the way, for the people of New Hampshire, where you have a tremendous problem with heroin and drugs, you wouldn't even believe it. You see this place and you say it's so beautiful. You have a tremendous problem. The first thing always that they mention to me, Mr. Trump, please do something. The drugs, the heroin, it's pouring in, and it's so cheap because there's so much of it. And the kids are getting stuck, and other people are getting stuck. We're going to end it. We're going to end it. We're going to end it at the southern border. It's going to be over. And we're going to work, and we're going to work really hard to get those people that are so addicted off the habit. We're going to work like hell to take care of the situation. It's a huge problem in New Hampshire. It's a huge problem all over our country. We're going to have borders again, and we're going to work with you people to help you solve that very big problem. And we'll get it done.
Okay, so it's talking about back then. Okay, back then. This man's talking about this problem. Okay. Now, when President Joe Biden got elected, I kind of took my attention to a large degree off of the political field. Okay. Now, I said this before. In my opinion, I believe that Donald Trump is for sure the Antichrist the Bible is talking about. That may not be your opinion. That's my opinion for sure. I've done videos on my YouTube channel about that, telling people this man is actually the Antichrist. Okay. Not because I don't like him, not because I don't agree with his political policies, but because if you look at the requirements for Antichrist, he meets all of the requirements. Even his name is actually even in the Bible, the name Trump. Okay. When you look at when it's speaking about the Antichrist, okay, and a little horn, there's a lot of stuff I can go on with that. You can look it up on YouTube. There are a lot of people that believe this also. But I've been believed this, okay? The evil of all of this, regarding former President Donald Trump, I don't see how this man cannot win. Okay? I don't see how this man cannot win this in this next election, okay? And I believe that there's not two parties, but there's one party. All right. I believe the Democratic Party colluded with the Republican Party to get Donald Trump elected again. As I said, if they wanted to stop him, they would have stopped him when January 6th happened. They wouldn't have waited 4 years later, which they have done now, to try to stop the man. That's just a show, in my opinion, that they put on to make people feel like, oh, we're really trying to stop him. And then when they don't stop him, they'll say, oh, we really tried. We really tried. No, y'all didn't try. It's a lie. Come on now. Come on now. This man had 5 people lose their lives. He incited the entire thing. Okay, y'all know this. Y'all know this. All right, a high schooler could see this. An elementary school student could see this. Come on now. They act like, oh, our hands are tied. No, they're not. Okay, no, they're not. They don't have that much work that they have to do besides sending up people's. I mean, seriously. Besides the stuff that, you know, the regular things that these people do, they don't have that much stuff that they have to do. They're like, it's just so much that you just don't understand. No, we understand. Okay. Send the tax money where it belongs. All right. Stop criminals. Because I guarantee you, if I were to commit a crime or if you were to commit a crime, they would find you. And if it was a crime that was against, especially a political figure, they would find you. They will quickly get you locked up. They'll quickly have a trial and you quickly would be in prison. Okay. Exactly. But the thing is, because he is who he is, oh, we have a problem. We can't catch him. We can't stop him. No, you don't want to stop him. Okay, you don't want to stop this man. You don't want to stop this man. Like I said, it goes along with what I said. I believe that man is the Antichrist. I've said this plenty of times. Okay, plenty of times. And the fact that, right. Listen to Max comments here. Right. He says, not me too, brother Max. I'm independent. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. And I'm glad he said it. I'm glad he said it because it made me think about this. Okay. Some people believe that if you're a Christian, you have to be a Republican. I say, oh, a Republican holds the truths of God, and the Republican Party really, no, it doesn't. Okay, no, it doesn't. It's a show, just like the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party does a lot when it comes to, or at least it says a lot when it comes to, they do certain things when it comes to helping the poor and the immigrants and those that are in need. I'm not talking about illegal immigrants, I'm talking about actual immigrants. The Bible talks about helping the loving the immigrant and helping the foreigner, okay? But then the Republican Party, what they'll do is they'll stand against abortion, okay? Which, of course, God is against abortion, okay? But then both parties also do many wicked things, okay? So there's no party of God, whereas in the Republican Party, they do things, for example, they stand many times against people that are in need. They stand against the poor, but they essentially usually take, when a Republican is in office, usually they have huge tax cuts for the rich. Okay, almost every time and on top of that, almost every time a Republican is in office, they always leave the nation with a deficit. Whereas then when we had, for example, Bill Clinton as a president, he left the nation with an actual surplus. When President Bush was the president, the nation had a huge debt because he started a war with Iraq and other nations, but he did not tax the nation for that. So, and then on top of that, there were people like Blackwater and other private contractors that were charging the country an arm and a leg for everything. And the United States was just taking those bills on, and it was hitting the taxpayers, okay, and hurting the nation in a variety of ways, okay. But then Democrats will do stuff variety of other things, like for example, some of the things that happened in 2020, which I can't speak about in this video, or this video will be taken down. But there's different things regarding huge deception, okay, and a lot of other stuff which I can't talk about right now, okay. And I'm not putting it all on that party, but I'm saying that they definitely have a lot when it comes to, they had a lot to do with spreading falsehoods for sure, okay, knowingly spreading falsehoods. Before the events of 2020, if you do the research, you will find that there are people that in office, okay, in political office, senators, and they even say even Nancy Pelosi, that took out, that bought huge stocks. This is a fact. Bought huge stocks, okay, in companies, okay, that benefit. I'll just say this. I'm trying to be careful how I word this. They that benefited from the events of 2020, okay. Before it even happened, they somehow knew to buy that. Well, I wonder how they knew that, okay. But once again, it's not 2-3 different parties. It's one party. What happened to RFK? They don't want RFK to be seen. They don't want RFK to have a chance. So it's as if he doesn't exist in their opinion, okay? You have the man that's so old he could pass away any moment, it seems like, and you have a man that's so wicked, but many of the things that he's saying now are true. Does that mean he's going to stop it? No, but he's telling you things that are obviously true. Okay. Many people are going to vote for Donald Trump. Okay, for sure. All right. And when this man becomes, I'll end with this because it's not going to be a long live. When this man becomes a president again, I know he's going to rule again. God's not told me if he's going to win this election, but I believe that he will. Okay. When this man gets in there again, I can tell you this, that things are going to be very, very different, because in his first term, if you remember, this is the same man that wanted to go to war, and his own people, if you know your history, they said they had to take sheets off of his desk regarding different things that he wanted to do regarding going to war, so that he would forget about what he was trying to do. Okay, this is the same man that insisted that he drop a nuke into a hurricane, which should have caused there to be a nuclear winter across the entire world, okay, and taking the lives of millions and possibly billions of people. This is what this man wanted to do, okay. People say, oh, he was just joking. No, he wasn't joking. All right, amongst many other things that this man had did in his time in office, okay, with signs of racism and hate, saying, why are we giving money to these dirty African nations? And then he said, why don't we give it to, other nations where they were basically like, New Zealand and other nations that didn't need our money, that were all white, were predominantly white people, okay? Not all white, but predominantly white people, okay? In these nations, those are the nations that he would have sent it to, okay? So a variety of things that shows us that Donald Trump at heart is truly a racist. And it's a genuinely bad person, okay? I believe that he also, all the accusations against him sexually against those women, I mean, regarding those women, they're mostly true, okay? We have him on tape saying that he would grab a woman by the private parts and all that kind of stuff, and him on Howard Stern saying that the best part about owning a beauty pageant is that he can go into these beauty pageants of preteens and say he's checking the place so that he can look at preteens, okay, barely clothed, because in his mind that's a fun thing to do. This is a sick, nasty man that people are looking at like he's the second coming of Christ. And I believe for sure he'll be the president again. And it's the Democratic Party's fault, because they let him get in there because they are together. Okay. They're trying to say, oh, we're trying to stop him. That's a lie. Okay. My opinion for sure is a lie. All right. And somebody earlier, Frank, talked about the Masons. These people are Masons. I've shown you plenty of times how Donald Trump is a staunch Mason. Every time he comes on camera, and he's sitting down, he has his hands in an upside down triangle. Every single time he has his hands in an upside down triangle, he's chanting Satan by doing that. This is the same man that has 666 on Trump Tower. Okay. In the form of a tree grove, he has 6 trees shaping a triangle. Okay. Like the Masonic triangle, he has 6 trees on each side forming a triangle. Not only was he promoting Masons, but he's also promoting the number 666 right in front of people's faces. Okay. Boldly doing this, all right. I mean, stuff is like, obviously, if you look into this stuff, you will see what I'm talking about, but that's a whole nother video. Now, I have videos about him on my channel, all right, but it's not all about him right now. It's about what's going on in his nation, about how the show is, we're trying to stop him, and we want you guys to vote. In my city here where I live at, in Pennsylvania, all right, all you see is people trying to register people to vote, okay? I mean, I was out the other day, I must have seen 10 different people in one small area, 10 different people trying to get people registered to vote, okay? Because they say, well, you guys are black or you're inner city people, you're going to vote for Joe Biden, okay? So make sure you can vote because we know who you're going to vote for, okay? But I think they're going to be very surprised at how these vote returns come in. Remember, for the most part, Donald Trump has been leading Joe Biden for a very long time in the polls, okay? When Donald Trump was not campaigning, when he was not doing the debates, he was leading Joe Biden in all of the polls. Now they're saying it's close, okay? I believe that that's simply a lie that they're saying because they're debating, they have to make Joe Biden be close with Donald Trump. But I believe that Donald Trump will win in a landslide, okay? And I'm going to tell you why before I get out of here. The reason why I'll win in a landslide is because, number one, Donald Trump's cult has grown bigger than ever before, number one. Number two, Joe Biden offended a lot of people he offended a lot of people with the events that happened in 2020. How he fired, the government workers were fired if they did not go along with what they were saying, okay, in 2020 with those events, okay. A lot of government workers were fired. A lot of people lost their jobs, okay, their businesses, and never recovered from that, okay. While the whole time the Biden administration was saying that, we're trying to make things right and, it's your fault. They literally said it's your fault if you don't do things our way, okay. And if people losing their lives, it's because of you, because you aren't doing things our way. Regarding things I can't mention right now, okay. So you have a lot of people that voted for Biden who he's now offended, okay. Whereas with Trump, his followers Trump has remained the same. He's been the same wicked person all along. Joe Biden, on the other hand, has offended a lot of people who voted for him. Okay, so now his following has been greatly reduced. All right. Then on top of that, right now there is great inflation, and everybody in one way or another is affected by the inflation that's going on in the nation. Even multimillionaires and billionaires can see the effect and are feeling the effects to a degree of the inflation that's going on in our nation, okay? And many people lay that at Joe Biden's feet. You ever go to a gas station? I remember many times going to gas stations, okay, and seeing at the gas station, at the pump, a picture of Joe Biden, a sticker of Joe Biden and him pointing to the gas price and it's saying, I did that, okay? That's the thing that people like to put up next to gas prices and say, this is Joe Biden. Okay, he did it. And those stickers have been up for years. Okay, since Joe Biden got in there. Okay, saying I did that. All right. And those gas prices are real. Okay, for real. And a lot of people have been affected by them. So all of these things make people look at Donald Trump because the thing is, Donald Trump is not a dummy, number one. He understands that people at heart, many people at heart are selfish. And what they want is their money. Okay. When Donald Trump came in office in the beginning, if you remember, the stock market did jump. And that's a fact. The stock market was up. Even though it was artificially, it was up when Donald Trump was in office. Okay, things were up. All right. When Joe Biden says he left me with a lot of mess, he's not lying either. But people look at their money. They say, well, when this man was president, my money, the country was better. My money was higher. Why would I vote for Joe Biden so things could continue? I'd rather try somebody else that can maybe bring us back to the prosperity that we had before. Okay. Donald Trump literally reduces everything down to just selfishness. He himself is a selfish man. He knows how selfish people think. Joe Biden and them don't understand. I don't think that they want to understand. I think truly that they really don't care about winning. They actually are trying to help this man get into office again. Okay, but that's just my take on it, y'all. Let me know how y'all feel also in the comments after this live. Y'all, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And that is it. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. It's your boy, Brother Winston, back at it again.